Hey guys, in today's tutorial we're going to be doing these woven pigtails, and this was actually one of the very first styles we posted on our website clear back in 2008. Over the years we've had a lot of requests for a video tutorial on this one, so we decided to do that for you today.
Keep watching if you want to find out how to make these pigtails.
So to start with, I'm going to make a side part here on the top of her head. You can make the part on the side or in the middle, whichever you prefer. I prefer a side part. After you do that, you're going to want to make a part from ear to ear as well. So I'm just coming off of that side part down to her ear on each side. If your daughter has bangs, you're not going to need to do this. You can just leave the bangs in front and then start the hairstyle behind the bangs. And then after you have that part made, now you're going to make another part straight down the middle, directly behind that. So you've got your side part here, come over to the middle, and then just split it in half as if you were making pigtails. So after you make that center part, now you've got this front section that you parted out, or the bangs, and then just this main section where you're going to make the pigtail. About an inch back from this front section, you want to make another part down to her ear. And for now, I'm just going to put that in a temporary elastic to keep it out of the way. And I'm also going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to have a small section in between on both sides of her head. At this point, I'm going to leave this little section here that we made in the middle out, and then I'm going to bring everything else back into a pigtail. So I'm basically just scooping these bangs back into the pigtail, going right over this section here that I'm leaving out. Okay, here's what it should look like at this point. I have the pigtail made, and there's just a section here in the middle that I left out. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing on this other side. I'm going to leave this little section out and bring the front back and put everything into a pigtail back here. Now that those pigtails are made, I'm going to remove this temporary elastic, and one side at a time. I'm going to start over here on the right, and I'm going to make some twists and bring them over to this pigtail. You can do as many twists as you want. I usually do 3 or 4, and there's several different ways you can do this. If you want the hair to be less twisted and to lay more flat, I would suggest adding a tiny rubber band at each section, and that'll kind of keep the hair separated. Or you can take the hair and braid it, and that's probably the easiest thing to do because it's going to stay separated for you better. I'm just going to make some twists. To start with, I am going to spray this hair down with some water so that we don't have flyaways. I would say that is pretty essential. You need to either get the hair wet or you're going to need some gel or pomade to do this. And then I'm just going to go along this hair and make some sections. So I'm basically just going to take my comb and part out a little square, and depending on how many twists you want is the size you want to make these. Now that I have that parted out, I'm going to start twisting it, and I'm twisting it to the left towards the center of her head. When I have this twisted down far enough that it reaches the pigtail, I'm just going to take a little claw clip and hold that into place while I twist the other sections. So I'm trying to make this second one about the same size as I did the first one. And again, I'm just going to twist this up over to the other side. Okay, now that I've twisted up all of that hair, I'm going to add all of these twists into the ponytail. And to do that, I'm just going to add a rubber band over the one that I already have there. And now I'm going to do the same thing with this hair that we have left on the other side, and I'm going to try and make sure that I get 4 twists in here the same way I did over here, just so that it comes out even. So with this hair on this side, I'm going to be twisting it the opposite way. I brought these twists in towards the left, so it was coming in this way. I'm going to twist this hair towards the right. And then instead of just bringing this over to the ponytail and clipping it in, I'm actually going to be weaving it through these twists that are already here. So I'm going to bring this first twist over this one and then under the next one. and then over and under. And this is where the twisting makes it easier. If you just have the hair laying flat, you might need to use a topsy tail or something like that. So for the rest of these twists, I'm going to be threading them the opposite way as I did the one before. So this first one, I started by going over this first twist. I'm going to bring this one under. And then I'm going to go over, under, over. If you need to kind of loosen these up as you're going, you can, and then tighten them again at the end. So as you can see, these have kind of loosened up as I've done the weaving. I'm just going to fix those by taking this elastic out and pulling them tight again and wrapping it up. And then over here, I'm just going to place an elastic over the top of these twists the same way I did on the other side. Okay, here is what the weaving looks like completed. And at this point, you could make some messy buns with these pigtails, or you could twist the hair up and make twisty buns, or you can leave the hair down, just whatever you want to do. This is actually one of our very favorite hairstyles. Every time she wears this, she gets tons of compliments and attention.